All right, it is o'clock. We will call this November 3rd common council meeting order. If you'll please rise and join me for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Clerk Treasurer Price, can you please call roll?
Spencer Kingery.
Present.
Aaron Jabril.
Here.
Will Moore.
Here.
Lee Myers.
Present.
Mary Yates.
Here. Thank you. The common council has been presented with two sets of meeting minutes. Start with the October 20th regular session meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve? I have a motion on the floor in a second. Open the floor for discussion. The additions, subtractions, corrections to the submitted October 20th common council meeting minutes. All right. Here none, all in favor of approving the October 20th regular session meeting minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Here. Second set of minutes is for the special meeting that we held after the October 20th Board of Works meeting for the budget. Is there a motion to approve the October 20th special common council meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second. All right, I have a motion and a second on the floor. I'll open up for discussion. Any additions, subtractions, corrections to the submitted meeting minutes?
Not that it matters, but when you said the first one, you said the 20th twice.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
Okay,
but-
yes, because that's what I have on my paper.
okay.
Yeah, so you are absolutely correct, but can you let that reflect on this?
Yep.
Thank
You
you.
reflect that
Thank
you
you.
meant October 6th for the first set.
Yep. You put it on the right sheet, so thank you. All right, any corrections, additions, any discussion for the meeting minutes, other than Councilwoman Jabril's correction? All in favor of approving the October 20th special meeting minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. All right, very good. So before we kick off our new business, we have a few visitors this evening. We're going to start off with Anita Whirling. She's going to discuss the Delphi Redevelopment Commission's 2025 annual spending plan, 2026. Just another error.
I got one. Thank you. Yep, I did. Thank you.
I got mine pulled up, but I'll take it. Anybody else?
I'll take one.
This doesn't have any of these copies.
Yes.
Might as well.
I feel like you wasted your time.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to start off by saying any budget, as we all know, is a work in progress. And we just got some numbers from Baker Tilly that will probably cause this to change some. However, this is the proposed budget that has been approved by the Delphi Redevelopment Commission. And the income that is shown here is based on last year's receipts. Baker Tilly has revised that down by about 12,000 per half. So the number may not quite be 140,000, maybe less than that. However, the expense side, the first, well, all of the items that you see, the bond insurance, right-of-way development, et cetera, are items that we do plan to spend this coming year. We're still working on securing right-of-ways for the 218 development area. And as soon as that is done, then we'll proceed with engineering studies for the utilities out there, for water and sewer. That way we can really actively start marketing the property. We also should note that we have $184,364 in our fund balance. That was as of September. It may have changed slightly since then. So I think we will have adequate funds to support our spending plan for the next year. And that will really be discussed in more detail at the upcoming annual meeting of the Delphi Redevelopment Commission, which will be in this room on November 10th at 5 p.m. And all of the people who are involved with the underlying taxing units have been invited to attend, and we know that some will be coming. Baker Tilly will be here, and they will be presenting more information about the TIF as well. With that, are there any questions?
The good news is the TIFs are starting to build up
Yes,
some funds.
Absolutely.
Slowly but surely, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been with this on and off since 2011, and it's really good to see
Good to see
a
them.
positive balance in there.
Mhm.
So,
So I have a quick question for you.
yes.
So if Baker Tilly's going to give you different numbers, is this something that you guys are going to vote on to approve, or with putting this into Gateway, because this is something I'll have to put into Gateway for you? Do you, with this being approved, is this the amount you want me to put in, or you want me to wait for Baker
I
Tilly?
think we should wait.
Okay.
Yeah. And, but what is the deadline for you to get the?
I have to look at the Gateway thing.
I'm sure it's after.
I know
the
it's,
meeting.
yeah,
And of course, it will be an official meeting, so we
Right.
can revise the budget and approve it at that meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, very good. Next guest is Rick Anderson, and I did not, Carmen did not put the previous mayor of.
Craig?
Yes, what city?
Kokomo.
Kokomo, yes. Great. She did not put you on the.
Well, you know, I
agenda, so I apologize. We didn't know if he was gonna be here, but anyway, they were with Verigy Energy Optimizations. So thank you for coming as well. I didn't know if you was gonna make it or not, but welcome.
Thank you.
You've been in a few of these, right?
Get it a few. Yeah.
Probably a much larger
Well,
venue.
I'm still chief of staff with the city of Lawrence.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah.
So this is probably one of the smaller ones you've had.
Oh, no, I've been small.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks, Mayor. So yeah, the mayor and I met, again, Rick Anderson with Verigy, Greg Goodnight, my consultant. So Mayor and I, and Greg met, 2 weeks ago and, went through some of the things that we do, and Mayor thought, it was worthy to bring it in front of council. So, a little bit about what we do. So, the first page well, first of all, let's talk about the utility situation. So does anybody work for the utility company here before I disparage them? So you guys might know about the utility situation, but we are a regulated utility state. That's not great for the end user. So all the states around us, Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, are all deregulated, which means you can buy from various utility companies. In Indiana, you can't do that. You have to buy from geographically where you sit. The rates, the average rate increase over the past 15 years has been like 6%, but probably over the past 3 to 5, it's been more like 15, 18, 20%. So if you guys work someplace where you pay a utility bill, you've probably seen it. At home, you've probably seen it. City, it's no different. So they're going to keep raising rates because they can. And our coal situation with electric power, we're one of the top 5 coal producing electric states in the country. So anytime they even shut down a plant, they push the cost back to us. So it's just going to keep getting worse. So the whole premise of what we're talking about today is we're trying to help you guys be a little bit more energy independent with some of our programs. So there's guaranteed savings legislation. So the first handout that I gave you, the one with all the little blue bubbles on it, there's guaranteed savings legislation in the state of Indiana. It's been around about 30 years, allows you guys to go out and procure these projects via an RFQ or an RFP. But some of the things we look at are lighting, HVAC. We do quite a bit of solar. So I'll get into the solar thing here in a second. But when we come into your communities, we'll do an assessment, which I'll talk about here in a second. But we'll come through and we'll look at all these utility using systems, and we'll try to find you better ways to do those systems with our program.
Rich, can I stop you?
Yes.
For a second? So this is tailored for our structures, city, this building, correct? That's the question I had was, it's focused for the city-owned.
City-owned facilities,
Yes.
anything, any place you're paying a utility bill, okay, is what we're focusing on.
Yep.
So again, this talks about kind of the things we look at. On the second page, you'll see something that talks about utilizing IRA tax credits. So you guys are eligible, even though you don't pay taxes. The Inflation Reduction Act was enacted back in 22. What that allows you guys to do, and it shows on here, either via geothermal, via solar, or via battery technology, allows you guys to get back potentially a 30% check back from the federal government on a project that you would do. Good news, bad news. We got about a year and a half, a little bit over a year to try to implement a project because this thing's going to go away at the end of the solar piece of this is going to go away at the end of 26. Okay, so we still got a little bit of time. But what we do is we come in and look for potentially solar projects. Now, we talked, the mayor and I talked, probably the biggest benefit to you guys is probably going to be wastewater. We're doing a lot of solar wastewater projects right now. Lafayette, we're just finishing up South Bend. So if you ranked your utility costs, wastewater would probably be 75 or 80% of your total cost. If I could offset 25 to 50% with solar of that 75 or 80%, that's going to be your biggest bang for your buck, if that makes sense. So, I've also put a couple case histories on here. There's one for the city of Shelbyville, where we did a nice project about 4 or 5 years ago. There's also one here for the city of North Vernon. We've done quite a few. We've done probably 50 or 60 of these projects since we've been in business in the state of Indiana. So next thing that you guys would do is I would need a motion from council to do an assessment. The assessment doesn't cost the city anything to do. I would send some information to Julie as far as we need a little bit of information from you guys. So there's a letter of authorization that goes to the utility company. But I would need a motion from you guys to move forward with the assessment. Again, it costs the city nothing to do. I'd come back with a report in about 6 weeks that would show exactly what the opportunities are to save you guys some money. And then you guys make a determination on whether you want to move forward with a project or not. At that point, you can say, hey, Rick, thanks so much for your time. We're not interested now, or, maybe we might be interested 6 months from now or whatever else, but we really don't know what we're dealing with until we do some sort of assessment and get you guys a report back. So I don't know if you have any other questions about, yes.
Does the cost of putting this in offset by the money you save?
The whole premise of what we try to do is budget neutral or better. So you guys are already spending the money. We're just trying to spend it a little bit more cost effectively for you.
How much maintenance do you have to do on those? How do you clean how often do they clean the?
Yeah, we basically do a 2 times a year maintenance on solar. We do curve testing, and we just make sure that it's working the way that it's supposed to work out, because if there's an energy guarantee involved. So on the energy guarantee, if I say I will save you $1 and I only save you 90 cents, I have to write you a check. That's what the state makes us do.
How often do you have to clean them?
They clean themselves.
How do they do that?
Weather. So in 20 to 25 years, you're still going to be getting back 80% efficiency from the panels.
And what about hail?
We've been doing
I just saw not too long ago.
We've been doing this a long time. We have not replaced any panels via hailstorm.
In the event, we were the first.
It's called insurance. It's called insurance, and basically there is going to be it's pretty nominal as far as you're adding an asset to your facilities. So there's a little bit of a but we, again, guys, we don't know until we do the report for you. So, but all that stuff, they're actually starting to recycle panels. There's a recycling market now as well. So we have a full service maintenance contract that goes along with the panels.
The batteries.
Batteries really aren't there quite yet for cost wise. We're just not quite there yet. Yes.
Let's say you mentioned wastewater and that, how many panels would it take to run
Yeah, again, I don't know until I do the report. Yeah,
It
it,
is, and we're talking about it.
I'm sorry.
Report don't cost anything.
And the reason why, when they approached me was, we're diving into a world of a lot of unknowns with Senate Bill 1, with budgets and looking at every avenue we can save and, I hate the word cut, but avenues that we can still save money and keep the city running responsibly for what we have to do, right? So I figure, if it's a no cost assessment, just to get a ballpark and in the end, if you guys agreed to it, if you did, you did, if you didn't, you didn't, but at the end of the day, we didn't know. Yeah, we're diving into a lot of unknowns still today, a year later, of how we're gonna get through the House of Rules Senate Bill 1, so.
Have you already started in on the counties yet?
Um,
The
I'm, till I get the utility information back, we'll get started with theirs. Yeah, I was gonna mention, we're gonna be doing an assessment for the county, so.
They have a bunch of panels up there at the Armory or for the school.
The school's on this program.
We could check there too to find out how it's working out.
Yeah.
One already in place.
The counties, we're gonna be probably looking at a courthouse redo. They got a bunch of HVAC and stuff that needs done. Their solar out at their jail would be great because it's 24/7, 365, so.
This building was built in the 1800s, so I think it's worthwhile seeing what way we can. Our utilities are outrageous, if that's a way we can offset that. Again, the cost of it is free to do the assessments, so that's certainly up to the council board to recommend or move forward on, but way I wanted to make sure that they had a chance to present that, so.
It's a free assessment. I don't see why not.
issue with that, I think it's a good idea to look and see, because again, if we end up going with them, I mean, if we were guaranteed, if he guarantees this number for saving and the shortfalls, they gotta cut the check for the difference, so we're still guaranteed. It's just.
Yeah, but you gotta figure out the cost of putting it in.
And you'll present
I'll give you a cost, I'll give you an approximate cost and approximate savings. We put a cash flow together for you, so.
and you would come back and represent again.
It's gonna take about 6 weeks to 2 months to get the report back.
So if this is something so if this is something the board wishes to move forward on, we'll need a motion to, as he stated, to move forward with the assessment, the free assessment, and have them put together a report and report back in 6 to 8 weeks, whenever they're finished. But for now, it's a voting item. Just need a motion to have them the opportunity to proceed with the assessment. What we need them.
I would make a motion. I think it's worth getting a free assessment and seeing if there's a possible savings.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussion or questions for Rick or Greg? Before we vote,
Say 6 to 8 weeks.
I'll have some back there.
and I'll get it to you guys prior to the meeting and give you a chance to.
You guys just meet once a month?
Yeah, yeah.
Or probably prior to January meeting,
Okay,
that's what we'll shoot for.
first Monday every month.
Gosh.
Unless it's a holiday. Next month, we'll be voting on our holiday schedule and
Right.
meeting schedule, so I can.
We'll push to get it done by January. Okay, Julian, I'll send you some information. It should be pretty self-explanatory, but.
Should be.
It should be. Clear as mud, right? Thank you
Just say
guys.
there are some things that are.
Thank you.
Any further discussion from the board? All right, hearing none, all in favor of approving energy optimizations to do the free assessment on the city buildings, city infrastructure at a free assessment cost, signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for making the trip. And
Thanks.
You're welcome to stay if you missed the days of. Council meeting. He's like, no. I'm good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank
Have a good
you.
evening.
All right, so one thing I did skip past on accident was the department head reports. approval of the board, let the minutes reflect that they've been submitted. If you guys wish to discuss, we'll move on. Very good. All right. I don't know where she took off. I was gonna
We
try
have
to.
another meeting that she'll go to for whatever.
Okay, then we will stay on track and we just go down the, I'm gonna try to get her out here since she was at the end, but we will move forward with what we have. All right, on to the new business items. The board has been presented and this was discussed and voted on first approval last month. Or has been presented with ordinance, proposed ordinance 2025-12, amending code section 50.07 regarding yard waste for the city of Delphi. Is there a motion to approve on second reading?
Don't move.
I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
One second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. I will open the floor for discussion on proposed ordinance 2025-12. Find my paper here. Yeah, an ordinance amending chapter 50, sections 50.07 of the city of Delphi Code of ordinances regarding yard waste. Again, we passed first reading last month in October. Any further discussion? Proposed ordinance 2025-12. Hearing none? You have some?
No.
Okay. Hearing none, all in favor of approving ordinance number 2025-12 on second reading, ordinance amending chapter 50, sections 50.07 of the city of Delphi Code of Ordinances regarding yard waste, signify by stating aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve proposed ordinance 2025-12 on third and final reading? An ordinance amending chapter 50, sections 50.07 of the city of Delphi Code of Ordinances regarding yard waste. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
All right, I have a motion, a second on the floor. Open up any final discussion or if you guys can hear that. That's my stomach.
I just wondered, is there a time limit? I mean, if somebody mows their yard and mows it up in the street,
But that's what I was gonna ask on section 1. I mean, I don't want someone to just like randomly, when they're mowing and stuff, if they go out and clean their mess up, I don't want them like in between times getting cited or anything for that.
Right, I don't think we're gonna be out looking for it, right? I mean, it's gonna be. So what brought this to the table was we have received several complaints of this happening this year and then. If a property lives on, if someone lives on the corner, right, so everything gets washed downhill. It jams up their drain or whatever, so the goal is not to go out and strong arm and. Make that our focus of driving the code enforcement vehicle around, just looking and watching people mowing their yards. That's not the point. The point is to try to protect our infrastructure by, I had to mow mine out the street, right? But then I go right back out, blow it all in a corner, pick it back up and put it back in the yard. So to answer your question,
well, I didn't want to have to blow up my neighbor's yard.
yeah, I mean, this is just something that's gonna be enforceable if need be, but they're not gonna be an hour later if they haven't been out there to clean it up because it's summertime, right? It's hot, so they might come back, but at the end of the day, it's one of those where our code enforcement's discretion, and if we get complaints on them, we'll handle them accordingly, but an exact time frame, no, I don't think that's something we're aiming towards really dialing in and just going out and watching people mow their yards to see if they go right back, and that's not the goal of this whatsoever. So, good question, but this ain't no mistake.
I wait, I go out and.
It's a
brush my back.
Very simple request that we're trying to protect our city infrastructure, which is, as we all know, very expensive.
Yeah.
So. Any further discussion or questions? All right, here now, all in favor of approving ordinance 2025-12 on third and final reading. The ordinance amending chapter 50, sections 50.07 of the city of Delphi Code of Ordinances regarding yard waste, signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Yes, I apologize. Apparently, I'm hungry. I hope that can't be heard on. All right, next item of business is proposed ordinance 2025-13. An ordinance establishing no parking limitations on East Front Street, which is the recently finished Front Street project. Approved first reading last month. Get a motion on the floor. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2025-13 on second reading?
So moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. I have a motion, a second, I'll open up for discussion. From the board, again, this is, so there's no parking on the south side of Front Street. Yeah, it's, from Union to Wilson. That road's highly traveled throughout the day and for special events, so the goal is to keep the lane of traffic open. Any questions or discussion? Nope. All right, here none, all in favor of approving ordinance 2025-12. 13 on second reading. Sure why I did that. An ordinance amending chapter 76 of the scheduled parking limitations for Front Street. Signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to pass on the third reading.
All right, I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-13 on third and final reading. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second on the floor. I'll open it up for discussion. Any further questions, discussion regarding ordinance 2025-13?
Yeah.
All right. I'm all in favor of approving proposed ordinance 2025-13 on third and final reading. An ordinance amending chapter 76, the scheduled titled parking limitations, Front Street from Union to Wilson. Signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. On to the next item of business. Will be ordinance 2025-14. So during budget time, we changed the allocated funds that was once 179, which is
172.
172.
or 172. It's 1,000 per hydrant. Obviously, the city has grown since then. So we've tried to capture some funds for Craig's operational costs, which is proved to be a challenge. So is there a motion to approve ordinance 2025-14? An ordinance amending the fire hydrant rental fee paid by the city of Delphi on first reading.
So moved.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions regarding this proposed ordinance?
Is this something you need to have done before the end of the year? For budgeting for Gateway or anything? Do you have to have anything done with this?
We put it in the budget part of it, so yes, we need to have, like,
We have to attach the resolution, don't we?
yeah, well, yeah, we'll need to
Okay.
just approve it so that we can get all that, because once the year flips over. Because that amount, I mean, we don't take it, like, do anything with it until later in the year. I mean, it could wait if you really.
But do you need it for your budget, DLGF?
Yeah, so
items,
for the notice, be a good idea, probably just go ahead and do it, even though we don't
Alright.
actually follow through with it until the end of the year.
Alright.
Having it approved prior to would be a good idea.
Okay.
We just, the amount was according to how many hydrants we have now.
Yep.
Which were over, what is it,
Which,
222 or something,
What's that?
so it's 1,000 per hydrant.
Yep, 220 was what Craig come up with, and again, next year it might be different. If we are adding that bonus and that thing, in different areas of the city, so. All right. I'm gonna hold off on that one for December then, if there's
No,
not much.
you need it now. Okay, so they have still got a vote on it, so.
Any further discussion or questions from the board?
Mhm.
Okay, hearing none, all in favor of approving ordinance 2025-14 on first reading, It's an ordinance amending the fire hydrant rental fee paid by the city of Delphi. And for the record, it would be from 172,000 to 220,000, which would cover the 220 fire hydrants at $1,000 fees. All in favor, signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Make a motion that we suspend the rules for the passage of ordinance number 2025-14 for second and third reading.
All right, I have a motion to suspend the rules for passage of 2025-14, the night of introduction. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. I'll open the floor again for discussion, questions regarding the proposed ordinance 2025-14, the fire hydrant rental fee to be paid by the city of Delphi. Any discussion?
All the reason why I'm saying this is just so that Julie has it for a gateway.
Yep.
It's needed.
Yeah,
So-
the number itself's not gonna change. It's just something for Julie's.
When he proposed it anyhow, when he was here on the budget,
Mhm.
almost, it was real close anyway,
Yeah,
as far as even at the 220.
Yeah, so
Because
the 172 hasn't been accurate for years.
Yeah.
Right, we've had several installed since then, so we're essentially shortening the operational cost of the water department, so. Yep. All good points, good questions. All right, any further discussion? All right. Favor of suspending the rules for ordinance 2025-14 on the night of introduction. An ordinance amending the fire hydrant rental fee to be paid for by the city of Delphi, signify by stating aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
motion to pass ordinance 2025 on second reading.
All right, I have a motion to pass proposed ordinance 2025-14 on second reading. Second. All right, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Proposed ordinance 2025-14. None, all in favor of approving ordinance 2025-14 on second reading, an ordinance amending the fire hydrant rental fee paid by the city of Delphi from 172,000 to 220,000. Signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve proposed ordinance 2025-14 on third and final reading? Ordinance amending the fire hydrant rental fee paid by the city of Delphi.
So.
All right, motion and a second. Open the floor once again for discussion. Final questions or discussion regarding proposed ordinance 2025-14. Hearing none, all in favor of approving ordinance 2025-14 on third and final reading. An ordinance amending the Delphi fire hydrant rental fee paid by the city of Delphi from 172,000 to 220,000, signified by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That will allow Julie to get that entered into Gateway. All right, very good. Next item of business is going to be proposed ordinance 2025-15. Before I start in on this, is there a motion to approve proposed ordinance 2025-15? An ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Delphi, declaring public records request policies and establishing a required request form. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
All right, I have a motion. Is there a second? Second, I will open up the floor. Discussion. Give you guys a brief.
Was there not one, was there not a form before?
There-
Yes, however, it's not that detailed. And we've received quite a few lately.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't it doesn't give the opportunity to fill in, like, it's very bland. So this one has a lot more detail with a lot more requirement for those things.
About what's it costing for whatever request.
Well, okay, so in this ordinance, there are, if people prefer to have a hard copy of it, there is a fee for the copying of that.
10 cents for black and white, 25 cents for color.
Yeah. 10 cents for black and white, 25 cents for the color.
Yeah, this is all state statute as well. Correct.
So this ordinance follows a lot of the things. Miriam and Amber worked on this to follow the state statutes and stuff with the 7-day turnaround for like digital requests. If it's in writing, it has to be within 24 hours. And then with a response and within a reasonable time. Not interrupting city business
So
to
we,
do
do
so.
we know about how much money we've spent already on whatever request?
We've spent over $1,000 for legal fees, just to have things sent to their office to make sure that we are following everything that we need to. So
Are these available online or?
there is a lot of the information that's available online. So if it's available online, we can tell them where they can locate it. And if it is someone wanting or requesting something in a specific document or in a specific way, if it doesn't exist by state statute, we are not required to have to do it that way. They receive the documentation the way we have it. We don't have to do a special documentation just because that's the way they request it.
And a lot of the requests that we've had recently, just everything that they're requesting has already been discussed in a public format. It's already been put on the City of Delphi website. It's readily available. So full transparency is already present. And the spur of having these all at once and the correspondence within, this spells it out, Indiana code, and does a great job of documentation for clerk treasurer price. So it's just one of those to where we have every goal, all of us do, as leaders of the city of Delphi, to be transparent. And a lot of the ones that we have recently received are plain as day on dockets, agendas. They've been discussed by you guys in public meetings, which is available on our YouTube channel. We have told them that everything is ready. They're still on the website for you to go check out. So they're time consuming, and that's part of our job. But at the end of the day, when it's already been discussed and the information has already been put out there, it's one of those to where we have to make sure that we have our guardrails up to make sure we're doing things right and to ensure that we're being transparent, which we have been very transparent. So
Like all of our reports are on the city website.
So if somebody
So-
requests one and it's on the site, can't you just say, here's where you gotta go if you want?
Yes, we do. But there are some people that even though you tell them that that's where it is, they want more detail. That everything that we do, everything we approve, every transaction, everything that's receipted in, everything is there on the city website, all the appropriation reports, all the fund reports. The dockets that we have every single month, the council, I mean, like everything is there. It's just a matter of going to, so a lot of times we can tell people, this is where you can locate it, go to this tab, then go to this tab, this is where you'll find it. But we still have people requesting those things that are being able to be found there.
So why can't you just tell them to go get it? If they get to, I mean, it's there, so.
which to piggyback off of that, so
Money for
we
it.
send each one of them to our legal team. That's us
I'm
being
saying.
responsible for, and if they tell us that we have to, they guide us on how to respond, if that makes sense. But it's a great question. It's just, all this is codes that we have to follow, right? So if there's a way for them to find it easier, sure, we'll direct them, but go ahead.
They need to be responsible in asking requests because it's costing taxpayers money.
Absolutely.
And I agree with the request because everybody has a right to know what's going on.
Sure.
But if it's online and they can find it, then it's just harassment.
And this is just this year and last year, it's the same people that send them, and yeah, it's time consuming and it's costing taxpayers money, which we know that's part of it, but at the end of the day, Julie takes great pride in her job and she's very busy downstairs. So this is a form of documentation for her that's following state statute. That if the person doesn't like our answer, this is the document that says this is state statute.
Mhm.
I guess it's not really harassment because you got a right to ask, but if the same person is asking over and over and
Over and
over,
over and over.
then it's ridiculous.
And
I've received several from the
It's the,
same people, like within a certain amount of time, like time frame.
With all the answers pretty much available online.
Yes.
it's the time frame of state statute, or can we change that?
yes,
It says.
it's all state statute. Yeah, it's part of the transparency statute, state of Indiana.
Again, been fully transparent with everything being published on time. It's just, they gotta go to the website and just click the right tabs, go through it. And they need to educate it on how to navigate the website. Is you could make our own YouTube tutorial how to navigate the website, which is gonna be self-explanatory.
We
But
have
I'm just saying, you know, when
Right.
it comes to that, then sure, why not?
Well, usually if it's something that's on the website and can be found there and they are having difficulty finding it, I'll say, this is where you need to go. Look to this, then go to this tab, then go to this tab. You'll find your documents there under whatever heading.
We also provide links that all they gotta do is click on that link.
But
There,
I'm
there it is.
saying everybody's got access to that and how, and you're willing to tell them how to do.
Yeah.
But I've had requests for people wanting it in the form they. And
Which
if
is what this.
those forms don't exist, and I'm not required by law to have to make it in the form that they want to
So
receive
if
it.
we pass this, they'll have a form.
There is a form.
Well, it's like a CYA, it basically is gonna let them know that they don't get to just request, like,
I
request that.
Yeah. It just will facilitate things for those requests.
I spoke to several mayors at the, sorry, Julie.
No, you're fine, go ahead.
I spoke to, at a roundtables with several mayors that's had this in place already. It's just one of those to where we have to make sure that we're doing things right and continue being transparent, which I've never seen an instance where we have not tried to make every effort to make sure that we are. That's just the way this administration is, and I appreciate that. So the goal is to continue, right? And we don't like having to add more ordinances and all that. But at the end of the day, we still have to add protection to the city of Delphi and make sure that we're covering our bases, and our legal team does a great job. We send them, every one of them. That's our obligation to make sure that we're responding right and doing the right thing for the city as well as the citizens. So Julie does a great job with them, and she gets a lot of them. And the problem is you know, the turnaround time is a statute. If she's busy performing her duties as the clerk treasurer of the city of Delphi, that does not mean that she has to drop what she's doing and just adhere to the request. She is allowed to get it, you know, there's timeframes, but she works on them pretty quickly and she tries to get the answers as quick as she can. Sometimes that answer's not good enough. And that's when the emails start coming in. So all protective measures for the city of Delphi and make sure that we're doing the right thing for the people we serve. So.
Mayor, this may not be an ethical question, may or may not be, but your travels, is this something that happens everywhere or just a lot here?
A lot here.
I think overrun here.
Yes. Yeah, I asked other mayors.
Them, but
Yeah, you're gonna get these requests everywhere you go in government, right? But the way that we have started just randomly receiving several of them, other mayors said, no, we don't, you know, we don't really. They're sporadic for if you have a heated discussion topic or something that's come on the agenda, but to be a repeated.
Over and over and over.
Yeah, for the same.
Same people.
Yeah, same people, they do not have that, so again,
If we pass it, so we have a more formal way of doing it.
mhm.
correct.
And
Yeah, and we also were within our rights to put the request on our website and so people can see who's requesting. So that's something that we're certainly gonna start doing because everything we're doing is transparent. We want the city to see what we're doing, be a part of it. So it's certainly on our end, it's the other way around. We can put those out to the public on,
do that.
it's all public knowledge, right? So that's something that we will start doing.
Well, and I think too, having this set up will actually save the city money in the long run with legal fees, because we have our own ordinance to follow now. Instead of having to keep going back and asking, here we go, we got something that we can reference and say, hey, instead of having our.
And we have a official form
Yes.
that's documented with state statute that pretty much covers everything. And if we send it to our legal team, it's a quicker process for them. It's an easier process for the clerk treasurer.
I mean, as a taxpayer in the city, I think this is a great idea, just so that way it saves taxpayer money.
And it's really not stopping somebody to request a form.
No,
No.
not at
Tell
all.
them how to
It's
do it.
not at all.
Not at
That's,
all.
that's not the goal at all. It's to stop them. It's just make sure that we have our
It's all.
protection measures in place as a municipality.
Are we gonna put this form on the website too, so they can just
Yeah.
turn it out?
Yeah, once it's, if this is passed, then essentially everything we do in public meetings is on our website. It's not something that there's no reason for us not to. We want them to be able to use them, to make them user friendly and to have them readily available. But at the end of the day, there's some things that needed updated. And the form that we had before was a form that was a legal document, but it was needed to go through our legal team to be updated to simplify Julie's time and Julie's due diligence, as well as us as administration protecting the city of Delphi.
Well, I've received some FOIA requests that have just been like a generic, like pull it off of someplace. It wasn't even actually a city of Delphi request form, so this just facilitates that. Because this is specifically for the city of Delphi, so it's not just some generic thing that they can pull off someplace and say, this is a FOIA request and this is what I want.
But, yeah.
AI generated ones.
You're right.
Yes, correct, which is a challenging world of its own. That we're learning everywhere in the world right now. So this will be an official Delphi, Indiana request form that has our language. It was approved by this board and easier to maneuver when Julia has to divvy it out to our legal team and to you guys. And again, when it's posted on our social media and our website and all that, it's gonna state it's official City of Delphi form, right? So all good questions.
If I can add.
Sure.
This also, because the form lays out a lot of the policies that are in the ordinance, provides a consistent expectation to requesters that this is how the city will respond. If it's on the website, anytime anyone makes a request in that nature, they'll get that. They know they're gonna be led to that.
Mhm.
So this kind of makes sure that everyone knows that every request is handled this with the same transparency and diligence that the city does.
Excuse me, man. If clerk treasurer price or mayor answers at one time, whatever the question might be, and they repeatedly ask the same question and demand a fashion that she said they wanted in a particular fashion, did she ignore it? Or does
She
have?
can't ignore the request itself, but she can still say.
It's already done.
But this will document.
You already got it. Already got
Yes.
it once, she can ignore the second one.
Well,
No,
Ignore
you
it.
have to respond and say
She
that
can
you
respond.
received it, but this is a
You
repeat.
even have to respond 3 and 4 times if they do it again.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, yes.
yeah, but this form is great documentation for that, right? So at some point, if it continues,
It's
then
just hard to
we,
believe it.
And then it would be posted online anyways. So
correct.
they can see.
Yeah, so we're gonna put these, they're gonna be on the website where I can see them for transparency purposes and again, this form is basically a great way for us as documentation for his question, just to make sure that, hey, we've already gotten one 3 weeks ago. We're still doing our due diligence and working on it, but this form is great documentation showing that.
I got a question.
Sure.
Do they have to, somebody requests it? How do you know that's the somebody? Do they have to show that that's who they are?
No.
They have to provide a valid
Email or.
contact to be able to get it back to them, right? Is that accurate?
So email or address to be sent back to, but it doesn't matter who requested, anybody can request the information.
Yeah, we don't
And
do,
specifically now that we have the form, you'll be able to specifically request City of Delphi stuff instead of just that AI generated blanket. Here's some from, California requesting just all records or whatever. Now they're gonna have to be specific of what they're looking for and then follow the procedures that we've set forth in this ordinance. So that'll help negate some of the broadcasting, I should say, of the extras, I should say. Easiest way I could put it.
Plus, if it's over and over and over again, the public will be able to see on the document.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, I mean, at the same time, though, we can't just single people out. So the thing is, it's just that,
No,
it's just
transparency both ways now.
yeah, well, the question's answered then at that point, to specifically to whoever asked it. So if they're like, oh, did I go through and did I ask this already? And they can go back and say, look at the website, say, oh, I did ask this already. Because some people forget. That's the easiest way to go that way.
And I think with this form as well, it makes the request be a little bit more specific instead of being such a wide range of things. Because I've received requests where it's like, well, I want the information from here to here, everything you have on this, that's a lot. So those things, those requests need to, this form would cause it to have to be more specific. What is it that exactly that you're wanting? You can't tell me that you want 6 months of all of these records from here to here, everything you have included. I'm like, that's
Since last year's credit card receipts.
right. I'm like, that's
Answer now
so
on the
much.
website.
It needs to be a more specific, pinpointed, what is it that you're wanting?
Again, we are fully on board with being transparent. This is a measure for us for documentation and for ensuring that we are being fully transparent, but also protecting the city of Delphi. So any further discussion or question from the board? Good. All right, hearing none, we do have a motion and a second on the floor, so I will now call vote. All in favor of approving proposed ordinance 2025. My sheets mixed up. 15 on first reading. This is the. Sorry, I was talking through my pages and being talking. This is an ordinance that. The Common Council of the City of Delphi, Indiana declares public request policies and establishing a required request form, which we just discussed. All in favor of approving ordinance 2025-15 on first reading, signify by stating
Aye.
opposed. Motion carries. All right, very good. Thank you. All right. Moving on to the next item. What's that?
Appropriation for Target Township.
Yep, and we're also gonna have an additional one as well. So next item of business is gonna be the proposed resolution 2025-12. This is a resolution to approve the additional appropriations for the Delphi Tri-Township Fire Protection Territory. Which you guys all had in your packets. Is there a motion to approve? Second. Spencer, Denny. All right, I have a motion and a second on the floor. I will now open it up for discussion or questions from the board. Dive into this a little bit further. This is for Fund 2543, which is the Fire Equipment Rescue Equipment Fund. The amount of $62,000. So questions, discussion?
Yeah, just to kind of explain it, the one that they currently have, the metals are different in the newer cars, and it doesn't have enough power to cut you out of the car. So they have to get the new one.
And I can attest firsthand as a fireman for 18 years that if you don't have the right equipment and you know someone's lives are within arm reach of you and it doesn't work, you'll never forget.
Don't forget it.
So this is an expense and an effort of our fire department to make sure that they have the latest equipment for, we have a 4-lane highway out here. We have roads that have several crashes. So for them to be able to have the right equipment, it's technology. Everything's changing. The cars are changing. The doors are changing. Everything's changing. So that's why for us as a city, we make sure we keep our law enforcement and our fire departments up to date with what the changes are. So yes, you're absolutely right. If they cannot pop a door open to get to someone, it's gonna make for a.
I've seen several crashes out there, and they're bad. You don't have the equipment, It'll be horrifying to the person using it as well as they're trying to save time, say we got this live.
No.
They're other right.
And there's nothing cheap in the fire service, so this is something that's needed and a lot of departments have already done, so. Any further discussion or questions regarding resolution 2025-12? All right, here now I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the proposed resolution 2025-12. A resolution to approve the additional appropriations for the Delphi Tri-Township Fire Protection Territory, the amount of $62,000 from Fund 2543, which is Fire Equipment Rescue Equipment Fund. All in favor, signify by stating aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. Very good. Thank you. Also had a last minute resolution involving the fire territory, brought to us not too long ago. This is a proposed resolution 2025-13. It's a resolution to approve the transfer of funds into a certificate of deposit, which is also known as a CD, for the Delphi Tri-Township Fire Protection Territory. From Fund 2543, the Fire Territory Equipment Fund, in the amount of $400,000.
Paper copies.
You guys have a copy in front of you.
Okay, so I just want to tell you before you, after speaking to Morgan, who is the executive board chair for the fire territory. Looking into this, she wanted to know if the amount, if whoever makes a motion or should choose to make a motion in a second, that the possibility of that amount being changed from 400,000 to 350,000 if
You should,
need be.
I got that.
What's the if?
We were discussing the fact, the 400,000 after talking to her. And talking about budgeting items and their general reserves of not having that much cushion left, so she wanted to know. If I could present it to you before anybody makes a motion or anything to see if this resolution could be changed to $350,000 be transferred to a CD instead of 400.
Which, Amber, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was approved to get to this point by the Fire Territory Board 2 weeks ago. That
Right.
the council
Well, in
can still
response.
alter the amount, correct? Is that what you're asking?
Yes,
So
you wanted to
then
know if they could alter the amount to 350.
Yes, they should be able to. It was just a motion, I believe, that they wanted that
Yes.
amount to be transferred, so if they have decided that in better planning for budgeting, 350,000 would be, then yes, the county council can.
Okay.
So you're under the understanding, their purpose is, it was like they had money in a high yield money market, they transferred that over back, but they want to take this money and put it in a flex CD because it has a over 4% interest rate on it. And so using that, they could gain some of that interest, since that money's just kind of sitting there. It's gonna get more interest in a flex CD, which they can continue to put as many deposits in that in a month time if they want to. And they can take out once a month if they need to. So if they were to have an emergency, they would be able to take funds out of that flex CD one time a month. But they would like to put it there so that it gains interest to help gain some more.
Which even 350,000 for 4 months at 4% rate could be it's a risk reward, but at the end of the day, if there's nothing that becomes of any emergencies, that's gonna be a nice chunk of money that's just sitting there, right? So.
Yeah, they gained quite a bit of interest with their CD that they had, the 400,000 CD that was like attached to the fire territory building before they paid the building off. And I think Amanda and I were discussing it today, and it was like over $17,000 they got in interest in 1 year.
Okay.
So this would be a huge benefit to them to be able to invest this in a flex CD and get that extra interest if they're not using that money currently.
They're
They still
asking
have
that we amend it from
Yeah.
400 to 350.
Yes.
Okay,
So
okay. Any further discussion or questions from the board? on Proposed resolution 2025-13. All right, hearing that, actually, we need to get a motion on the floor, so. Is there a motion to approve resolution 2025-13? Amended from 400,000 per clerk treasurer price discussion with the territory's president. Fund 2543 Fire Territory Equipment Fund. Yeah, so
I will make a motion, Mayor.
I'll second it.
all right. And I got out of sync anyway, but is there any further discussion or questions from the board regarding the change of funds or the purpose of the proposed resolution? Amber, did you have anything to add further or no?
No, you do.
Okay. I think Clerk Treasurer Price summed it up great. All right, hearing none, all in favor of approving proposed resolution 2025-13. It's a resolution to approve the transfer of funds into a certificate of deposit for the Delphi Tri-Township Fire Prevention Territory in the amount of $350,000. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Motion carries. That is all the business items that we had for this evening, I believe. Yes, couple quick things before we get to yours.
I gave them, I think.
If any of you were around Friday and Saturday this weekend, we had a very busy city with trick or treat and trunk or treat, but it was very successful as well. So Delphi Main Street did a great job of putting it together. Thank the Delphi Police Department for setting up for trunk or treat and also for their patrolling on Halloween night, which I'm not even exaggerating. My phone was buzzing all night of how people appreciated seeing the law enforcement out and about in the community while people were trick or treating. Also, thank you to the Delphi Street Department for setting up barricades for trunk or treat. Another successful event that brought, I would say, probably thousands. Wouldn't you agree, Julie?
There was a lot of people there.
There was a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of smiles, great weather.
Plus they set up for the movie and park.
Yeah, movie and park. Delphi Parks Board, everybody put their time into it, and the neat part of it is when it's a successful event at the end. So kudos to everybody involved. A lot of candy was handed out, but we still have a lot of candy left. So with that being said, I will, any board comments?
I was out. 4th Street was just packed.
Always.
And it was,
It's like the
it was
spot.
very, there was nothing chaotic about it.
No, just it was a good
And the police
atmosphere.
were there and kind of watched the street because kids were going both sides.
We probably handed out 1,000 stickers. I was trying to help Officer Decker get caught up, and that wasn't happening. So, but that's the
It was
neat part. It was
unbelievable how many
the
people.
kids wanted to approach our cars and talk to our officers, and they were out talking to them on the streets and down at the front of the street. Alex was down there giving them high fives and but the goal, right, is to have our officers visible where kids that may be scared, they can approach them and talk to them, and they did a great job with it. So that was a fun event, and we had good weather.
I was
So,
impressed at how many people like stopped on Washington Street, the traffic, to let people cross the road with their kids. Like there were tons of semis, like grain semis that were hauling grain, I mean, they have schedules they have to keep, but they would stop, put up flashers and let people pass on Washington, right there, at the corner of Washington and Summit and crossing on the highway. So they blocked the traffic so kids could get across to trick or
Nice.
treat.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
We'll probably move it back to the square next year. We moved it down to Riley for the trial last year, and for some reason we just kind of, we'll do it again, not thinking that we originally had it at the square. But a lot of people liked it at the square, and that's also good for our businesses, for a chance for people to go get some pizza afterwards, or buy a watch, or get a haircut. So anyway, yeah, whatever you wanna do on those days. But
It's after hours.
our departments do a great job of getting those things organized, so. Amber, any comments? Clerk Treasurer Price, other comments?
I do have a question.
You'll come up to the podium, please,
Yes,
to
more
state
than
your
happy
name for the
to.
record.
I know we're in a big room together, just all of us here.
Well, we got to put the meeting minutes together, and we want to make sure that we don't misspell your name, and then.
Totally fine.
Yeah,
Everyone
nasty
misspells my name. Speaking of North Street, I had the dinosaur house, so if you came by the dinosaur house.
Yeah, the dinosaur house.
So
that had
writing about you.
I-
A line that was wrapped around.
Yeah.
My dad loved your house.
55 kid.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm Lauren Murphy. My last name's Murphy, MUR. FREE. I had a question about the flock cameras. I realized someone driving through town, I've seen a couple of flock cameras. Do you all know what these are?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Did city council discuss the flock cameras? Is there like notes I can find on the flock cameras discussion for bringing money for that, or is that the police department's allocation?
So I can sort of answer that. So last year it was grant money, and again, grant money again this year to pay for the flock cameras, correct, Alex?
Correct.
So that was paid partnership for drug free Carroll County gave this. Was that, or was that a different grant?
My understanding is, excuse me, my understanding is it was actually two different
Two different.
grants that
Okay.
required those funds for that.
Okay, yeah, so it's not, it's grant money that's paying for it.
Okay,
So it's not a budgeted item. Well, it's technically budgeted, but it's with the grant money.
okay. Yeah, I was just wondering how they were, how the process of allocating or how they got funding for that, because I knew I've been here a while and I saw them pop up and like, oh, these are new
We
in
have
the
four
area.
of them.
Yep.
Started last year.
Yeah, no, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
We started the program 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah, I personally am a bit hesitant about these cameras, to be honest. I wish I'm hoping it was on city council agenda. At some point, I just missed it. But they do collect a lot of data on just your car make, your license. I'm not doing anything to tow up. I have a dinosaur house to bring children by to bring candy. So I swear to God, nothing crazy is happening, but for me, it's just, well, Big Brother vibes, if that makes sense. So,
And so when we dove into this program, I can answer. questions.
yeah, I'm more than happy to hear.
So when we dove into this program, this was actually a program to help us locate adults and missing children,
Okay.
which when we did first get them installed, we did find
Right off the bat.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
that was up in Wisconsin due to the, it's not just our cameras that we're looking at, we can, anybody that's on the flock camera system, we
Yeah.
can get into. Our guys are not just specifically like targeting certain, cars and stuff like that. If it happens to be a wanted person, great, that's what we're
Oh,
going
yeah.
for. But mostly we're using those to help locate, investigative stuff or missing children and adults. That was the big push for them, and just the information access to them for our agencies, not only ours, but agencies in this county as well. Someone that uses them, I use them, great asset, great tool. And I'm first one to say, I don't like the Big Brother vibes either, but, we saved a life. To me, that makes a difference to me.
Understandable. My main concern is the constant tracking of everybody that passes by those cameras and.
No, so
And we also had thousands of people in our city for an event last year that we never expected,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
So
sure.
it was a great
The,
asset.
the way that they store data is not the individual person themselves, it's just the plate of the car.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to the individual registered owner. Yes, we can go back and find it at some point in time, but it's not right away. If we're looking for somebody specific, we can type that information into the flock system and then we can get that afterwards, but it's not, hey, we're specifically looking for, just randomness, which, we have to have reasons to run people. It's not open season like, hey, I'm gonna run Mary Yates today. I have to have a reason. I have to have a lot of reasons because we do get audited for it.
Yeah.
So that's.
Yeah. I appreciate you answering the question. I just wanted to.
Have you seen them in White County and on the interstates?
Yeah, I've seen
and
them
what-
around.
what they
popping
were
up
and then-
more,
I think,
so-
yeah, in the state of Indiana, 3,800 cameras. Does that sound
Yeah.
about right? I mean,
Correct.
they're everywhere.
Yeah, I typically.
I can attest to that. I travel all over the state with my job,
Mhm.
and it is an eerie feeling
Mhm.
because there's flock cameras everywhere, even out in the country.
They're on
So
the-
HOAs now have.
Yes,
Yeah.
HOAs can have them
And
now.
I'm with you on that, but on the other hand, here's the thing, they always sell you on safety.
Mhm.
And then if the government goes crazy, it ain't safety no more.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's the big worry that everybody.
Used for the correct purpose, then yeah.
But that's,
Like
and that's another thing
everything
too.
Good can be bad.
So that's another good thing about this too, is it is a private company. It's not a government company. So at some point in time, if something were to come up with the federal government or whatever, tinfoil hat, put it on real quick. If something were to happen, they could say no and cut all ties with it.
Yeah, I would hope that, but yeah, I just wanted to see if there was any conversation in here, but it's grant funded, it might have just been
Yeah,
filtered
we,
through.
gosh, I bet 5 or 6 meetings last year, we discussed it.
Okay, I'll
Those
look back at
those
those
meetings
websites.
should be on our YouTube channel.
Took the one off of Carrollton Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 5 at one point, then, no, we only had 4, right?
No, that was
We had
on
one.
Carrollton Road.
We had 5, then we got, I thought we reallocated
You
it.
said 4.
Okay, so we have.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't need to fill one on that, but.
No, it's a normal failing, right?
1984, all that stuff growing up, I read at 12 years old in book report, so, really big on that stuff, so. Just wanna make sure it's clear, like, you know, that it went through you all, you, on it, I can look back at the notes.
Yeah.
You don't worry about sending me anything, I'll look at the notes. And, yeah, I just wanted to express on record some reservations to someone in the county about these cameras, the collection of data, the mass collection of data. Always hope it's being used correctly, but like you said, things can always be misused by bad actors. Also Flock, I know, is a private company, and private companies that collect a lot of data. We see the gene companies that are collecting data for like 23andMe, I think was one. They went bankrupt and they sold off all their genetic.
There's a disclosure agreement that we have to sign with it too, so they can't just up and sell your data.
Yeah, that's good to hear,
So
yeah.
there is an agreement with Flock that they can't, because so the information that our information for plates and driver's license are not technically even ours, that are property of the DMV.
Mhm.
So they can't just up and sell that data.
Mhm.
Otherwise they get fined and
Yeah,
quite a bit.
knock on wood, yeah.
Well, you also, I mean, they can track people by cell phones too and all the.
Yeah, for sure. It's just another
You're being
avenue.
tracked anyway, but.
Yes, I recognize that, but I just wanted on record that when we hear how you all went through the process, I can look up, see the process and notes and have to look at them.
Grant money paid for it, did not come out of our taxpayer, quote unquote, grant money taxpayer, but.
I get your vibes, yeah, Grant.
So, and that was before this go around for 2026 happened in our budget hearings. August, we started in August with when the department heads presented their reports.
I think it was before August.
Was it?
Maybe been before.
I'm trying to
Probably
scale.
July fiscal year.
I think July is when we had our first.
July or August, I'd look at that one.
Okay, I'll check
Was
that
that
one.
there a fee? I remember when the police department ordered that for storage or something.
No, it wasn't for, so we did the initial payment for the Flock cameras, and then every year after, there is a subscription
Yes,
fee for the
subscription.
camera. So the initial cost is higher, then every year when you renew it, it's cheaper because you're not paying for the camera itself, you're paying for the access. And then once you stop paying that, then they come and take the cameras in their own.
A license.
I will say though, and I don't wanna throw Sergeant Parkinson under, but do you remember about a year or so ago with the Flock cameras? That we had a suspicious truck that was looking for someone and the Flock cameras were able to keep that from happening with like an abduction?
Yes, there's actually been a couple of incidents like
Right.
that, related to the trial and also not related to the trial.
Right, so in that sense, I feel like that's a huge asset for our police department when we're able to use that information to keep things from that happening, you know, on their watch, it helps them, so.
No, I appreciate the comment. Yeah, definitely. I just want to make sure it's on record that there's some reservations. I'm not sure if anyone came up and expressed those in the conversation.
We've had several and we showed them and explained all, and they were saying with you, they were like, oh, okay, so once we gave them the whole, you know, it's a vast amount of information, they were like, oh, okay, didn't know that, so.
No, I appreciate it, definitely. I appreciate my questions and that's my comment. I'll let you go home and get better.
They can hear my stomach.
I know, it's on record.
Got
Got any candy left?
There's 2 bowls there.
Any further public comment?
That's just you, honey.
I
Only public
enjoyed
here.
the police around Halloween. We ran into 2 officers while we were walking around and they both stopped by, said hi to the kids and gave us a bag of goodies. It was really nice to see you guys out there. It's a great time, so thank you for that.
Great, love to hear. That was the goal, so glad to hear that. All right, Sergeant Parkinson, anything? Your last public comment?
Don't believe so.
A man of many words. All right.
I will note, since we talked about the clock cameras, there's only a 30-day retention period on any data that is gathered, so nobody has the ability to access anything that, you know, any place that went past those cameras prior to 30 days, so.
Okay. Good point. All right. There's just one last motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor of adjourning the Delphi Common Council meetings, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay.